Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. I'm Cheri Hardman. I'm your ex-ho, and today's guest is Beth Brese. So, sit back, enjoy the episode, and remember the old saying, always a bridesmaid when you're a hoe. Okay. So we always start out with a Mary Shag Kill on the show. And so...
A what?
Mary Shag Kill game. Okay, it's easy.
Yeah, I like it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
So I gotta share my screen.
I've never played, but it sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Why don't I have... Okay, well, we'll just try this and see. It's not giving me the right... Okay, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where is it? It's here. It's here.
Ooh.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So you got to marry one, shag one, kill one.
Just one?
And so we just had the Golden Globes this week. So we're doing Golden Globes edition. So these people were at the Golden Globes. So we have Ali Wong, Jo Koy, Emma Stone.
I definitely want to shag Ali Wong.
Okay.
I feel like she's the kind of woman that's going to leave scars that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jo Koy has a small dick. I can't do that. He just has small dick energy. I guess that just leaves Emma Stone as the body I'll have to bury. No particular reason.
So who are you gonna marry?
Oh, gross! I have to marry one.
Yeah.
That's just so bad for your health, though. So I guess small dick is no. Emma Stone is the one I'll marry. Ali Wong is the one I'll shag.
And Jo Koy, he's dead.
Jo Koy can be buried.
Okay. All right. Would you rather watch or be watched?
Watch.
Okay. Any explanation?
I guess since I've watched a lot of porn and I haven't been in porn that's gone public. That kind of answers that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and every time I try to take a picture, it's like, man, does my ass really look like that? I miss shaving that whole area. Hot damn, it's time to get waxed, girl. Yeah, and I would hate to have a crowd. That's
too
self-conscious.
I'm going to take you back to your childhood a little bit. What did your parents or whoever you grew up, what did they call body parts?
Ooh. I think they just ignored it. My dad wasn't there and my mom was Catholic, so the old saying is stay pure till you're married, then pretend to enjoy it was the saying of the house.
So it wouldn't be like go wash your...
Yeah, I think it was just like downstairs, something very, very vague that you have to kind of do the math of, well, what else? Probably not my feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Were your parents together like while you were a child?
No, I actually have a lot of jokes about this because it sounds horrible, but quite frankly, I find it amusing. My dad went to play pool when I was 1 and never came back. And yeah, I get that reaction a lot, but the fact is like he wasn't there to miss. So I grew up with my mom and sister, and I got to be the man of the house. So I can be both very feminine and very good with a chop saw. I think it actually, quite frankly, I think it just made me a very independent woman. She had once said that if I'm doing it all alone, I might as well be alone. And that's probably the wisest thing I've ever heard
Right.
anybody say.
Right.
And it every once in a while I'll reassess the relationship that it's like if I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm bringing home the bread, I'm doing the everything. What's the point of you? I can buy my own dildo. If
Right.
that's your only use, why?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I want to ask you about like when you it's what I call sexual awakening. So it's like when you first notice like there's something going on in this world that I didn't realize was going on before. Whether it was something that happened with your body or something you observed. Can you tell me about that?
you mean like when I started noticing boys or girls or both?
That could be, yeah.
Uh, it's I've always been a bit of a tomboy, so it was more of a I just wanted to sit closer to them. And that's when I noticed there was something different. And then as far as girls go, I was uncomfortable in a locker room and had really no reason why. Like we have the same parts. Why is this embarrassing or why does this bother me? And it didn't come out till years later that it's like, oh, it's because I also like girls. But in the boys' case, it was you're in junior high or elementary school and you're sitting a little closer than you normally would have. And it's like, what's going on here? I
Yeah.
can't tell you really an exact thing, but like,
Right.
my best friend growing up was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And as we hit puberty, it was is that, what do you mean we can't hang out like we do anymore? Now we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any celebrity crushes?
Oddly, no. Uh, most I ended up having in like junior high a few friends that were like super into the 90s boy bands and they were just boy crazy and it's like okay I like whatever one because you were required to do so but in the end relationships were so much more I have more interest in the person than the actual body so having a crush on someone I had never met and understanding that this is a personality that they put in front of the TV as opposed to who they really were was very aware. Um, so how could you have a crush on an actor when they're acting like that? And that's the part that I like. Like the one thing I like about them is they're really nice. Well, they're told to be really nice. That's part of acting. Um, but there was like a teacher I had a crush on because who didn't have a crush on a teacher? And there was a couple of, like, other kids that I had a crush on, but it was more of a no, just never anything I'd necessarily act on when I was younger. And quite frankly, I am bad at making moves, so I probably tried and it just didn't get anywhere.
All right. So you're attracted to the personality of a person.
Mhm.
So, I mean, which makes sense. That's really how we should all be. But so then like if you watched like a movie and there's like a love scene or kind of sex scene, we're talking mainstream movies, not porn.
Okay.
Um, would that arouse you? Like, do you remember like a scene in a movie that you thought was
There's honestly, they're just more uncomfortable because it's like, am I gonna go jack off now? Pardon the language. Am I gonna go jack off now and go satisfy myself? Because that's what porn's for. So normally during those scenes, it's all right, have your moment, be intimate. I don't feel the need to watch it, but go be intimate. And that's the time I go get the popcorn and
okay.
or fast forward it because it seems weird to sit and watch, especially when it's so fake.
All right. So when you do watch porn, what kind of porn do you watch?
Really weird extreme stuff that's horribly inappropriate. It's one of those, okay, what would I never want to be done to myself, but it would be interesting to watch? Yeah, some of that. And it's one of those I feel like I shouldn't admit to it because it wouldn't make me a feminist, but it's hot.
Right, right. It's interesting because I ask this question all the time, and people tell me all these porn categories that I had no idea was the thing, you know?
Right, right.
So it's like really interesting to me because, like, you know, I always say like my weirdness is like stepdad, stepmom porn, and I have no interest in that, like in real life, you know.
Right, right.
But there's just something about, you know, but like people like uh I can't even think of some of the stuff people told me, and I'm like, huh, like,
What does that even mean?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
there was a comedian out here that did a joke about a stepmom getting stuck in a dryer, and I'm like, what? I don't get the joke. And so I Googled while at the comedy club, stepmom getting stuck in a dryer. Don't Google that in a public
oh,
place. I had no idea. It was it was so bad.
huh, I'm gonna
Um,
have to Google that after this.
right, right. Just not on a company computer. But that's just it. It's the more extreme, the more interesting. It's in this the stepdad thing. It's weird. I guess because I've had stepdads, like I can't go there. But like the teacher porn, the group ones are fun. I have no reason. I have never done that in my life.
uh,
I might have done, yeah. How many is a group really?
right, right,
Uh um but it's fun to watch. And it's also a honestly, I think I'm better in bed because I've watched that many blowjobs be had by somebody else.
right. That makes sense. Now, where do
Yeah.
you live?
I'm in Spokane right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in the Tacoma, then Seattle and Bellevue and Issaquah and all that area and ended up out here for school and stayed out here. Worked out great.
Oh, cool. Um, we kind of touched on the, well, I won't do that yet. Well, yeah, let's do it. We kind of touched on this a little when talking about the watch or be watched, but how's your body image?
Most days I have no problem with it. There's always of course, I wish I was smaller, but that's more because it's easier to find clothes that are smaller. Um, and like when I was younger, I was in very good shape. Like I can climb trees and ice skate. And now it's like I have no interest in ice skating or climb trees. So do I feel the need to be in better shape? Eh.
That's a good way to look at it. It's like, yeah, I never really wanted to hike anyway, so fuck it, you know.
Right? Like I used to hike for 8 hours a day, but who needs that anymore? That's ridiculous. Like there's a lot better things to be doing than spending 8 hours in a day hiking. Don't get me wrong, once in a while, sure, that's fun, but I
Mm-hmm.
have other hobbies in my life to be done.
Right. Oh, what's your definition of amazing sex?
Multiple orgasms, both parties getting off. This is kind of wild. I have in the last few years met a couple men that they'll go for an hour and not get off, which is great for me because I'll go a couple of times, but it's like, did you not have fun? Like, oh yeah, I had a good time. Like, but okay. Um, so
Medication?
both parties getting off and hopefully me going a couple times.
Oh, cool. I do.
Like
Do you think maybe those men have it's a medication thing?
I think in one case it was an alcohol thing.
Uh,
Yeah. He told me if I can get it up, I could have it, and I did. Looking back, I probably wouldn't wasn't very good of me, but he has since like, yeah, we're okay.
do you have any sexual regrets?
I wish I wouldn't have started so early. I started having sex in my early teens, and I wish I would have waited. Um, that's about it. Just
How do
about
you
everyone.
what would have been different if you would have waited, do you think?
Um, there's a lot of guilt associated with that, and not because of the Catholic part, but more of it's more of a self-control now. And since then I've had a lot of X amount of dates need to be had. I need to know favorite colors and certain trivial things before I sleep with someone, which quite frankly doesn't take long to get to. Um, but when I was younger, just because I had no like I started having sex 4 years before I masturbated. Had I
Oh,
learned how to masturbate first, I would have known how to have sex a lot better, and I
right.
would have actually enjoyed it. So I had 4 years of horrible sex thinking that this is all that there was for me. And had I waited and learned more about my body, it would have been a different story.
That makes a lot of sense. Anything left still on your sexual bucket list?
I would like to try anal. I've brought that up to a few men and they've all offered, but when it comes down to it, all dicks are big or small until you try to put it in the butt, and then that's a no.
Right. Right. Well, I think you have to really trust someone to do that, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's same concept. It's like, yeah, maybe not tonight.
Yeah. Right. Uh, what's your Instagram?
I don't have an Instagram. I should. I know, right? You would think being a local comedian and trying to get my name out that I'd have it, but oh, I'm terrible with online media.
Okay. Yeah, you should get an Instagram
I should get an Instagram.
because some people now are booking through Instagram instead of like
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, I need to get that together.
Okay. So this is going to be, I think this is like yeah, let me think. I got someone next week, someone the week after. So 2 or 3 weeks from now, I can't remember for sure, is when this will come out. So end of January, beginning of February, do you have anything you'll need to or would like to promote?
The two regular shows that I'm on every month are on a hiatus right now. I'm on another podcast, but she's wanting to make a few of them before she publishes them. Um, so right now I've actually got nothing. It's
Okay.
kind of nice. I
Yeah.
mean, it's horrible, but it's kind of, yeah.
Right. All right. So now we're at the point where I'm just going to ask you to tell me story time. So I'm just going to sit back and let you just tell me some entertaining sexual related story or stories.
All right. I have a few of them since that's a lot of my comedy. The ones that I really only say at the local dive bars with other comedians is I once had, so I used to be a merchant marine, and that's just traveling, whole lot of traveling. My ex-husband, same thing. And we had,
Hang on, wait a minute. You were married before.
mhm.
That surprises me because of how you talk about relationships and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I'm so against marriage is because when we got married the night before our wedding, we got tattoos. We got matching wedding ring tattoos because we decided that marriage is forever. So we're gonna get a forever stamp, basically. Well, we've been divorced for 6 years now, but I still have the wedding ring, so marriage isn't forever, but tattoos are.
Okay, sorry to interrupt
Lesson
the story.
lessons learned. But yeah, I used to be married. Most of it we were both sailors. We just didn't see each other. It was just we'd get together, have sex, go our separate ways, which quite frankly was kind of nice. And we had what we called the booty call budget. So I did a lot of work on the Great Lakes and he'd fly up there and we'd see each other just long enough to get that need settled and then we'd go our separate ways. I'd go back to work. He ended up in Singapore for over a week. And it had been a while, so I flew down to Singapore for over a week. Prostitution is legal in Singapore, which it is what it is. I have no comments on that right now, but there it is. So we're all out drinking with his sailor friends. We're having a grand time. It's about half and half men and women. And I get up to go to the bathroom because it'd been a while. And one of his buddies is like, you should escort her. And I'm like, I'm a grown ass woman. I don't need no man to take me to the bathroom. I got this. And on the way to the bathroom, a couple of men were asking me, what's my number? I'm like, my number doesn't work here in Singapore. This phone isn't going to work. They're asking me the price. I was
Oh,
being offered money. And I didn't know that because I was too drunk to tell. Later on, same night, different spot. It was a cool little karaoke bar. I couldn't tell you where it was because I was plastered. And again, half women, half men. Song comes on, all the women get up and start dancing in a line. And I'm like, hell yeah, I don't know this number, but I'm down. It's ladies' night. They were showing their wares. Those were all prostitutes as well. And I'm lined up with the prostitutes thinking, thinking, hell yeah, it's ladies' night. And of course, my ex-husband is like, nope, not tonight. So the next day he has a conversation like, oh, you were so smashed last night. You were almost a prostitute multiple times. And I'm like, we could have doubled our booty call budget. I'm here for dick. And you ruined that. So
that's funny.
yeah. So, so Adventures in Singapore is that little bit. Um I'm also really bad with like keeping up. I think we talked about the media. I don't really keep up with a lot of stuff, and it had been many years when I became single since trying to do these online dating apps, right? Because what does this even mean? The last time I was single, phone still flipped. So I didn't know what these emojis meant, like eggplant.
Hmm.
Why would I think that meant dick? That doesn't look anything like a dick. It's a disgusting vegetable. Nobody likes eggplants. They're disgusting. So I thought there was just a bunch of gardeners, forceful, serious gardeners and cooks trying to get me to eat their eggplant. Sorry, my roommate's here. Hold on, Keith. So the eggplant thing, I thought it was just a thing that everybody was into and I was so behind. So I had a guy that's like, "Oh, hey, I got an 8-inch eggplant." And I'm like, "That's a dwarf eggplant. It should be at least 12 inches." And of course he called me a size queen and ghosted me for some weird reason. It's like, "Okay, don't mention the dwarf's eggplant, but that is a dwarf eggplant." And so another one is like, oh, hey. And the problem with this is these are all real stories. Like, I am that much of a dipshit. And I was in college at the time. So I decided to go back to school. So another one is talking about, hey, I want you to eat it. I'm like, eggplant is disgusting. Nobody wants to eat an eggplant. So I'm like, how about with cheese? Do you put cheese on it? And they're like, don't, there's no cheese on my eggplant. Like, well, then how am I supposed to eat it? Another one, he ghosted me for wanting to cheese his eggplant, I guess, or calling him a cheesy eggplant. I don't understand still. So, and by the way, no one's willing to explain at this point still that eggplant meant dick. So whew. Another one comes in and he's asking about, he's like, okay, fine, I'll try a bite. And he's like, don't bite it. How am I supposed to eat this? He's like, swallow it whole. Oh, that's some serial killer shit, man. And so I'm relaying some of these text messages with some classmates who are in their 18, 20, 22 range in college. And that's when I was informed what eggplant meant. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is that why this one said that like peaches doesn't actually mean peaches because he called me a peach eater and told me to piss off. And I'm like, well, of course I'm a peach eater. They're soft, they're juicy. Yeah, they're a little fuzzy, but once you bite into them and they get all wet, they're pretty good. So Yeah, that one called me a dyke and ghosted me too. But it was great. My coworkers and my classmates on college were nice enough to inform me that eggplant does not in fact mean eggplant, because who the hell eats an eggplant?
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny because when you're my age, I can't even see them when people send me emojis. I'm like, what is that? Like,
What is that?
yeah,
Yeah.
so God only knows what people have been sending me because I just ignore them.
Well, that's just it. If somebody sends, like, I'm just trying to get dick and they're wanting to sell me their eggplant. Like, why?
I mean, sometimes dick is kind of gross, but it's never as gross as eggplant.
Right? Who wants to eat a freaking eggplant? That is nasty. You can wash a dick, but eggplant will still taste like eggplant.
All right. Well, that's great. It's been really nice to meet you. I look forward to working with you sometime in the future.
Absolutely. I hope to go on, I try to make 1 or 2 trips over to your side of the mountains a year, and, I hope to see you around.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much. It's been fun.
Thank you. Have a good
Have a
day.
good day. Bye bye.
Bye.